Hey, I'm Coach Laz. How many of you guys have fallen into the trend of trying a new diet, whether it's keto, carnivore, vegan, fasting, 3-day fast, 2-day fast, and nothing seems to work? My mom was my true first ever client. My mom popped up originally with multiple autoimmune diseases. She had chronic inflammation, multiple arthritis flare-ups. She had days where she couldn't walk. She got to a point where she was using a cane. That's when I finally stepped in and told my mom, it's time for you to just trust me and let's move forward and get you to a better you. Most people don't know, but autoimmune conditions are mostly stemmed all in the gut. First thing we did was have a plan of attack for gut health. At the same time, we started using peptide therapies to start lowering that inflammation. We also started to use many supplements to help heal her gut, to improve her arthritis symptoms, and to lower inflammation as well. Many people try to use supplements and the approach of throwing the whole kitchen sink at it. You need a controlled approach. You need to know the right dosages, the right supplements, the right brands, and everything to use. First time I looked at her lab work that I had requested, I was in shock. It was a true status of her internal health. And that's when we got very aggressive with the plan. Carrying excess body fat, in other words, adipose tissue, is very inflammatory. So we did have to lower her body weight while preserving muscle mass. Very important was to implement foods that were not inflammatory to her. People think that just because food is healthy, it means that everyone should consume it. Not everyone reacts the same way to certain foods. There are foods that will inflame certain people, make them feel sluggish, make them feel bloated. They might not be able to digest those foods. And in just a quick short 4 months, my mom went from 198 pounds down to 145 pounds. Her lab work came back impeccable. My mom also never had to use a cane again. She walks around pain-free and she's a completely different person. She says she feels as if she was 30 years old all over again. My sister's a mom of 2 and a business owner. My sister felt very frustrated, like most mothers out there. After they have babies, they can't get that baby weight off that they had gained. I wrote her a targeted nutrition plan, supplementation plan, and also peptide therapy plan. And just within 6 months, my sister went from 200 pounds down to 125 pounds. The best part was she didn't suffer. She didn't feel hungry all the time. She was more productive than ever and feeling more confident than ever. And just like my mom and every other client, I always take a look at their lab work first. When I took a look at her blood work, she was pre-diabetic. I took a look at her hemoglobin A1C and her fasting insulin. Both scared me tremendously. So the plan of attack was very aggressive. I also explained to her that it would take a little bit longer, in the sense of about 5 to 6 months, because that amount of weight loss could lead to loose skin, which is something that we wanted to avoid. She's very young. She wanted to have her skin looking youthful. And what started all of this wasn't just that she wanted to lose weight. It was actually that she was getting sick all the time. It was about once a week. Her immune system was suffering. It was suffering from her daily habits, but also from the extra adipose tissue that she was carrying. We go back to the same thing. Carrying extra adipose tissue is very inflammatory to the body. The bodies don't want to be that heavy necessarily. After 8 weeks of her following a good nutrition plan, that's when I brought up to her the idea of GLP-1 medication. She was very stressed out because having 2 children at home also means extra snacks at home, extra food at home. That is very tempting. And as well as running a business can be very stressful. So I told her that now with GLP-1 medications, we could take away that food noise. So we implemented it. It was amazing what it did for her lab work. After just 2 weeks, it took her fasting insulin from a 22 down to an 11, and it took her hemoglobin A1C from a 6.2, which was pre-diabetic, all the way down to a 5.2. It was truly amazing. I tell everyone nowadays we have the tools that we don't have to suffer anymore to truly lose weight and achieve the bodies that we want to. Dr. Peraza, when he came to me, he was trying keto diet, and it was working until it stopped. Just like everyone on keto, I try to explain to them, when you're on keto, you're cutting out whole food group, which is carbohydrates. Every gram of carbohydrate holds 4 grams of water. So people see a huge initial loss, 10, 15 pounds in the first month. But then what happens? They go out for a simple cheat meal, consume some carbohydrates, and all of a sudden the scale jumped up 6 pounds, and they freak out and they quit on the diet. That's why I tell people it's mostly about calories. You can't just cut out an entire food group and think that that's what's going to get you to your goal weight. Versatility is important. When he started with me, he couldn't believe how much carbohydrates he was eating. Every day the scale was dropping. He felt full all the time. People start at diets that are too aggressive too soon, and they risk a lot of muscle loss. You have to start with a smaller deficit and slowly taper down while adjusting all the macronutrients. So in the end, you have a nice physique that you're proud of, which is a good amount of muscle with very low body fat. In just 5 months, he lost over 70 pounds. He started to see muscle definition he had never seen before. He felt more active than he ever has before. I also wrote him out an entire workout plan. With my background in bodybuilding, a lot of people don't know where to start, what machines to use, how many reps, how many sets. I take care of all of that for you guys. So together, we brought back his vitality, his strength, and his motivation to now want to do the same for his patients and their families. Now, Dr. Peraza's wife was a little bit of a different case. When she saw her husband losing weight, feeling great, feeling that vitality, she wanted to join in, which is amazing. It's great when you have couples working together. She had been struggling with chronic leaky gut for over a decade. Couldn't eat a single piece of food without feeling inflamed inflamed, feeling sick, feeling lethargic. She felt like she couldn't get out of bed most days. She had no energy, no motivation. Her plan of attack was a little bit different. It wasn't solely weight loss, it was more so fixing the root cause, which was that leaky gut. We started implementing a strategic supplementation plan and also a specific diet plan. Like a lot of people, she tried taking prebiotics, probiotics. Sometimes when you have leaky gut or an overgrowth of bad gut bacteria, throwing probiotics to it is like throwing gasoline into a fire. Not the best course of action. She had asked me about the GLP-1 medication originally. I'm a huge proponent of the GLP-1s. I do love them. I think they're great medications. But with a case like hers, you can't give her a GLP-1. GLP-1s are going to slow down gastric emptying. And when you have an overgrowth of bad gut bacteria or leaky gut, you're having extra food sit in there and ferment for a long time, which causes even more problems. So I told her it wasn't the right time. I told her, let's fix the root cause, which would only take a short couple of months, and then we could incorporate the GLP-1. It was around week 6. The scale wasn't dropping as fast as we both would have liked it to. That's when I suspected there might be another issue at hand. I asked her to get lab work as I suspected that her thyroid might not be functioning at the level that it should be. After getting lab work done, it did come back. She did have hypothyroidism, which is extremely difficult to lose weight when you have. She pretty much doesn't have a functioning metabolism at hand. We got her on the right medication that she needed for her thyroid. After just a couple short weeks, weight started to fly off. She started to feel great. Her vitality came back. Her energy came back. Her motivation to get out of bed came back. And the best part, the leaky gut was being healed at the same time. She was now absorbing nutrients that she wasn't able to absorb beforehand. Now everything was functioning perfectly and she was returning back to her old self 15-20 years ago. She shifted her mindset from I can't to now I can, from impossible to now possible. And she felt that she had the right plan in place and the best support. Let's take a look at Dr. Peraza's son. He's a medical doctor in residency. He works 12, 14, 16-hour shifts. He also does surgeries that could last anywhere from 6 to 8 hours long. It requires a lot of cognitive focus. So at the end of the day, he's fully depleted, tired, and the worst part is he lives far from home. So he doesn't have a support system right at home, even though it is just a phone call away. But he did want to better himself. He saw his family returning back to their vitality and he wanted to do the same. In total, he lost 76 pounds. He went from 240 down to 166 pounds. He looks fantastic and feels amazing. And now no other doctor can keep up with him at residency. Same thing with his plan. It wasn't just weight loss. He needed support cognitively. After those crazy long work days, he needed the extra help. In his plan, I also wrote him a full supplementation plan detailing the dosages, the timing, after what meals. I also included the right peptides to help control the inflammation from the amount of stress and cortisol he was producing. His body just needed a break, it needed a reset, and it also needed better quality sleep, which is something I also took care of and we improved. Everyone has the same goal, to feel their best and look their best. So here at Vital Root, we understand everyone has different schedules, different work lives, different situations. We still find a way to build a plan around what works best for you so you can still achieve your goals. So if you want to find out for yourself, schedule a consultation here at Vital Root.